Welcome to Two Gents, where two seasoned gents take on the hard truths of life, success, and responsibility. In a world where the rules don't bend for us, these gents believe in doing the work, owning the struggle, and inspiring others to take action. So, pull up a chair.
Hey, good afternoon. Welcome to Two Gents Podcast. I just happen to be one of your hosts, Ron Spikes. I'm out here today. And as we get started in this thing, I just want to tell you, every once in a while, you run across something that just grabs your attention and as some people probably would say, snatches your wig off. That was a saying back in the day, but this is just one of those things that it hit hard. And you saw the title. Why people of color and white supremacists agree that Trump must go. He's got to go. And you at one time, if you've been listening to our podcast long enough, you always heard me get in the middle. You always heard me get to a point where I'm saying, we may be a little bit hard on something. We might be giving him more than he deserved. And I've got there a lot of times. And I just lately, and especially after yesterday, I'm gonna set this up because normally I greet my people with a good morning text, and I started doing that probably about 2 or 3 years ago. And as I would do it, and I would share with them the knowledge, share with them encouragement to help their day to move forward, to accept the day for what it's worth, and continue. Doesn't matter how it starts off, it doesn't always have to finish that way. And we have to do that. Because you never know. And I gotta share with you the reason why I started doing it, because it's gonna all tie back to where I'm going with this. One of my friends, I can't say it would have changed his path in which he chose, but I often wonder if somebody would just came to him and say, "Hey man, how you doing? How's your day going? Or what's on your mind today? Or what's happening in your life? Or hey man, if you're gonna start off the day, let me encourage you to take your first thought process is a good one." And if you knew anything about this young man that I'm talking about, he's about my age. He's had a lot of stuff in his life that was positive all of his time that he was growing up. I'm a little bit under the weather, but I'm gonna fight through this. So just give me an opportunity. He was always, it seemed like he had everything going on. It seemed like he had a path that he had. I don't want to put too much into it, but his kids was in a good place. One of them had just graduated college. The other one was almost going to college. He had a good job. His wife had a good job. They lived, they just moved into a new house. They had so much from the outside that looked so right. And I took it to heart because it made me think about, he took his own life, and it made me think about life as a whole. And it made me think about the people that's in my little small circle, because I don't have a big circle, I have a small circle. And I thought about it. I said, what if somebody would have just told them that this day is going to be all right? What if somebody would have just gave them the opportunity or expressed to them, it ain't that bad. It ain't that bad. Somebody's always out there worse than what you have. And which this kind of leads into where I'm going with this. Every once in a while, you see something that just should stop you in your tracks. Every once in a while, not everybody, some people have jobs, they have families, they have elders that they're taking care of, that they don't get the time to sit down and listen to media. They don't get a chance to sit down and listen to the news. or they just don't take the time. But if you're close to that person and you care enough about them and you hear something that's just out there that everybody should know about. And we always take this path, we take the path of we shouldn't talk politics. We shouldn't talk politics. We shouldn't talk about what's going on in the government. We shouldn't tell people about what's voting. I wonder who's telling us that. Because if you don't get out and vote, you don't have a voice. And they've been telling us for I don't know how long that if you don't get out and vote, you don't have a voice. That's our voice. That's your way of sitting in this chair where I'm sitting at, even though you're not doing it. That's your way of going to the polls saying, we have to make a change. That's the only way you're going to make it. Voting comes down to numbers. And we're in a time right now where we need to do everything that we can do. They're using, I'm going to tell you something. I don't want to stay on here that long, but they're using AI people to look like us on YouTube to tell a story or a narrative that they want to present. Now, if you don't believe me, go out there and watch those YouTube videos. See if they do this. See if they can do this. See if they can do this. See if they moving or if they looking straight at you like this. And they're moving their lips, and then you can't see, you can't identify with them. You can see them, and it looks like they're blinking their eye every once in a while, but look at their eyes. They're not moving. They're not moving. They're not turning their heads. They're not doing anything. They're talking directly to you, but they're black. They got the right skin tone, but they're telling you everything about what's not right in certain parties. Be aware of that. Take that information in. And when you get information, and I hope I didn't offend my family or my morning text people, but I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna talk about it. I'm gonna share it. I'm gonna talk about whether or not you text me back. And that's the thing about texting people. They don't have to text you back. They're good. You're doing this for you. You're doing this for you. Like today, we sent a text out. I'm trying to bring up my text. I'm gonna give you an example of what I'm talking about because I'm gonna try to bring up my text that I sent out today because I hate to bring up stuff and, as you young people say, not have receipts for it. So I sent a text out today to all my people, and now they know I'm just changing names because they know I changed their names to let them know that I'm writing it to them individually. But it say, good morning. I'm going to tell you, I'm just going to have to say the name. It say, good morning, Ashley. You know, life's wild sometimes, full of stuff nobody really sees coming. You are never walking through it alone. Like the words of Bill Withers' song, lean on me. Right. Seriously. Don't forget, God's always listening, even when it feels like crickets. And we have this day called Treat Yourself Thursday. So I always ask something in about Treat Yourself Thursdays. I'm gonna cover that in just a minute. It's Treat Yourself Thursday. So seriously, give yourself some grace today. You matter more. You matter probably more than you even realize. Find a little spot to chill, breathe a little, and just let yourself be you for a minute. Keep your head up until you keep your head up. I'm sorry, it's a little. I got glasses on. I can't barely see. But keep your head up. You're precious out here, and honestly, you're never alone. That's what grace and mercy feel like. Just something to encourage people. To encourage people in this day and time. You don't have to do it. You don't have to take on my path. And I just want to encourage you to, even if you just say good morning, how are you doing, or something, and go out of your way to do it every single day. You know how many people I get more from that coming back to me than I ever did going out. It takes time. I mean, I probably text like about 30 or 40 people every day, including my own kids. Just so you know, I changed the name, I put it out there, and I include them within that. But this thing that I seen was so, I don't know how to explain it. The only way to explain it is to go through it, because Joy Reid lost her job from MSNBC. She lost her job, and she was probably one of the most qualified person there. She lost her job when Kamala Harris won the election. Instead of going after everybody, they went after Joy Reid. They went after Joy Reid's position. And see, that's where we fail our people. See, that's where we fail our people, because they went after her, and we just sit back and let it happen. And I'm gonna tell you, and I'm getting off topic, and I'm gonna try to time myself. I'm gonna give myself about 2 more minutes to go through this thing. See, MSNBC has a lot of other people telling our stories, but Joy Reid told our stories from her perspective. And if you don't believe me, go back and do the research on Joy Reid and see what she came. She came from humble beginnings. Humble. When I say humble, you talking about not walking in somebody else's shoes before you comment? I think Joy Reid says it in this thing now I'm about to share. But I need you to go out there and find out about Joy Reid. Joy Reid grew up with no parents. Some of us are taking care of our parents right today. Yeah, we lost them, some of them early. And a lot of us at my age are going out to the cemetery to visit with their parents. There's no response there. But what if you grew up with no parents? What if you grew up in a society where you wasn't supposed to succeed? And I got a new respect for Joy Reid, but I don't want to spend. I looked at the time. I wanted to get to 13 on this, but I want you to go out and I don't mind giving somebody else their flowers. Go out and check out Joy Reid. If you don't do nothing else but listen to what she's saying, listen to where she came from, listen to the achievements that she made over the years that she contributed before she got into MSNBC. And also take what she says and go back and compare it to some of those other hosts that's still online. I'm gonna leave it there because I really got to go, because I want to be on here about an hour. But I need you to go out. This is one of those days that we're gonna take lessons. We're gonna put this out there. I'm gonna comment and we're gonna keep on moving, because I have to get this out there. I want to do this like this. Let me find myself. I want to be not that one. Remove that one. And I want to add this to the stage. Let's see if I can get it. Okay. I took myself off the stage, but I'm gonna add myself back in the bottom. This thing right here is what got me to this title. Why people of color and white supremacists agree that Trump must go. And Joy Reid names it broken clocks, nickfluences. This is just one of those nickfluences. It's just one of them people that, when we had radio and all the rest of that, they could hide behind the scenes and make their snide comments. He's a young, white American, white supremacist. Let me just say that. He even calls himself a white supremacist. He calls himself a white supremacist, a racist. And but here's something that people are not catching. When he does it, I want you to listen to what he says and how he does it, because I'm gonna let this play, but I don't think I'm gonna let it finish, because I'm gonna try to show you what the Trump family is doing with America. I'm gonna try to show you. I'm gonna show you where Trump and his family, you think they're not in the White House. You haven't seen Junior running up there. You haven't seen his daughter doing that. You haven't seen none of the other Trump members except him at the White House. And it's a reason why, because so much is going on behind the scenes that they're involving their hands in, that we need to pay attention to that too. But go out there. I want to put up the link to it, but it wouldn't have did you any good. So I want you to go out there and the way I get to it is I Google Joy Reid and I put in clocks. Go out there and get this and listen to it in its entirety. Don't turn away from it. Don't listen to part of it. If you don't have time to listen to it, don't listen to it. Wait till you have the absolute time to sit down and listen to this video right here. And I'm gonna play a portion of excuse me, I told you I was under the weather. And I apologize, but this is important. I need y'all to hear this. I need y'all to just listen. This should take you to a whole nother level of what you think about what's going on in the world today. I'm gonna try to get it on the right stage where you can hear it. I'm gonna add it right now.
But he's sharper. He's like 25 years old. He's, a white supremacist. I don't think that he would disagree with me saying he is. I think that's what he considers himself, right? The Groyper guy.
But are you, sorry, I just want to make sure, did you say I'm a racialist or I'm a racist?
For a long time, I would say I'm racialist. Now I just say I'm racist.
Okay.
But he's caught on to a couple of things that I think are actually true. And it's game he's recognizing the game Republicans have been playing specifically with young white men, because that's who he speaks for. He speaks for young white men and their anger about a lot of things, but specifically about immigration. Take a listen to a little bit of what his commentary was on the 600,000 visas.
And all we're saying is, we want what we were promised. We want the America First immigration agenda.
Now, he didn't already told you that he was a racist. He done took off his sheet. He done put himself out there. And that's what happened when Donald Trump got into office. They didn't have to have sheets no more. They didn't have to ride at midnight. They didn't have to burn crosses. He just gave them the ability to communicate in the public. And that's the thing that we need to identify with. When people when they get to a point where they're doing this, it's something wrong. It's something not right in the tea. But I need you to listen to the rest of it and go out. And again, I'm going to say, go out and follow Joy Reid. Go out and see the whole video. Don't take just my word for it.
We want Trump to follow through. But I, and many people like me, knew that it was never going to happen. We knew last year that it was never going to happen. This is why I take immense satisfaction in the disappointment. Because last year, Republican influencers were paid to lie. They were paid to disregard the truth and ignore the evidence, and they were effectively complicit. Maybe they were the most responsible for creating this perception that we were going to get something other than what was realistic.
Doesn't that sound familiar? They make all them promises and they tell you what they're going to do, and then they get in office and everything changes. Changes? This is a white supremacist. This sound like one of us on the block talking about Trump, talking about government in general. Just listen. Finish this. I'm going to finish this.
They said mass deportations enthusiastically. Last year, when Trump said he would staple green cards to diplomas, they said to disregard that. They said, pay no attention to that. That's not real. Now that we're getting the realistic immigration agenda of an administration that is beholden to Wall Street and Silicon Valley and the needs of capital, now
you understand how we feel. When everything was going your way, you was all for it. Oh, you ran across America. We the great white hopes, and young white people, they didn't understand the plight. I'm gonna say not flight, plight of black people. Now you get a chance to understand. Now you see how we feel. You see how we feel as a race of people. Now you want to keep on talking. I want you to keep on talking.
You say, well, we told you so. Did you get what you voted for? It looks like you fell for it again. The Republican Party, which is controlled by the wealth interests, the special interests that profit from the labor, once again, they tricked you. They lied to you. They used nativist rhetoric. They used xenophobic rhetoric. And by xenophobic, I mean that in the colloquial sense. They played up this talk about immigrants and deportations, Haitians eating cats and dogs. They did that self-consciously to trick you. It was a calculated deception. They knew that white people had been radicalized by the millions of illegals that Biden brought in. And so they leaned into those sympathies.
Did you hear that? They even gave Biden a break. He even gives Biden a break. How bad are we? Where's this country at? Where are we going to? What are we trying to do? If we don't, I'm going to say it early. If we don't lean into midterm elections this cycle, if you don't get out and vote, we're doomed. That's a quote from Byron Glass, in case you didn't know it. That's a quote from Byron Glass. He said that, he's been saying that since the beginning. We are doomed. We are doomed. Your vote counts at midterms. They gonna be out voting, so why shouldn't you? They doing the same complaint that I hear you do all the time. I'm gonna have to just break this down so you can understand. Let me get by. I'm gonna go back to that. See, as people, we go out and we want to listen to other people that don't have our story. And I say that because as we listen to other people that don't have our that hasn't lived our life. See, there's some people out there that there's nothing wrong with education. But when you use that education to tell your story and not the people that you grew up with, when you use that education to elevate yourself up above where your people are, and you use it and you reach out, and instead of you reaching out to the people that you knew, that understood where you came from, instead of you reaching out, gravitating to them and helping them understand, no, you don't want to hear them because what you do is you're using classism. I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna say it. See, when we get our little degrees and we get our little sorority titles and all the rest of that, we forget where we came from. We forget that the people that we're trying to get out and vote are the ones that maybe didn't go to college. Maybe they still back in the neighborhood. Maybe they sitting at the Thanksgiving table, the Christmas table, and wishing you a happy birthday. But instead of you reaching back, grabbing those people and bringing them along with you and educating them at the same time, because you can get their vote. You can get them voting. You can also send a van out. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You can send a van out because you're at a position that you say that you're at. You can send them, you can tell them, hey, I'm this person. You can show them that you're this person. You can ride around in your cars, in your vehicles, and you can tell them that I'm here. I am. I'm showing up on TV. They're coming to me for information. They're doing this. But how many can you send a van for the midterm elections? Can you guarantee us a van for the midterm elections to get your people that's sitting at that Thanksgiving table to the voting polls? And I sent that video. The reason why it's got me here, because I sent that video out yesterday, and I thought people was gonna say, you know what? Don't send me nothing about no election or nothing like that. One of my friends sent me this, and I knew I was on the right path then. She said, Ron, say one of my girlfriends last year during the election process, she drove a van to get people to the polls. She said, this is so important this time that I'm gonna try to sign up for the same service that she did last year. I'm gonna help people get to the polls. See, you don't have to get out here on this news media. You don't have to get out here and try to talk down to people because you have elevated yourself. You don't have to get out here and say, well, I got a college degree and I'm this. I'm gonna get this professor and that professor and this person that's on the same level as me to communicate back to the people that where I came from. And that's our problem, is that we don't take that information and realize that the people that are doing the voting, the people that we're asking to do the voting, they don't want to hear from your buddies with all these accolades and everything else. Your buddy that was on this media station, your buddy that was on that media station, because it seems like it's classism. See, I can't go out to the golf course. I don't know how to play golf. I can't even resonate with you when you start talking about the different events that you go to, that you're invited to, that your name has become a household event name. But if you go back to and I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say it. If you go back to your roots and start there, that's like the texting I was just telling you about. Start there. Get them people involved. Get them people involved. Go back and say, you know what, Uncle, I want you to come on my show. Because I think I'm missing some people that should have been voting. Because maybe their messaging is coming in wrong. Maybe their message, they don't understand that when they look at people on TV or they look at YouTube videos and they send them certain directions because of AI and all the rest of this, like I just got through telling you. Maybe they don't understand that. Or maybe they just say that you didn't wash your hands of where you came from. But excuse me, I apologize. I told you I'm under the weather. And the more I talk, the more that I get to this point where I'm excited. I'm not scared to say it. I'm excited because I need for the media to understand that maybe if they could help people identify with them, that they're not talking at them, they're talking to them, because they have people that's on the same level. Stop getting all these people that look like they're above their level, because my name is Dr. So-and-so. I got this whole title of things of enrichment that I did to get to this point. But the only reason why you got me on here, because you want to show that you got the ability to reach out to people. See, I think that's part of our problem over the years, is that we don't go back and reach to normal people. And I say this about, and I just got to go here. I say this about Urban View. But what I noticed, and Pastor Riggins had to tell me, Ron, you probably caught that at the wrong time. You need to go back and reevaluate and kind of pick out the people that you want to listen to. Now, I went back and I listened to Karen Hunter. She's on Urban View. I think it's Urban View. I think that's what they call it. But Karen Hunter recently has started to do something that I've seen that's a little bit different in her programming. She's taking it down a notch. She's taking it down a notch. She's basically, I heard her say something the other day that just blew my mind. Because if you go out to the national media and different media chains, they take Obama and they put him here. What she's been doing lately is letting you know that Obama may not need to be here. He's right down here with us. He's right down here with us. He had flaws, but you need to see his flaws in order for you to identify with going forward. I don't want to put words in her mouth. I'm just telling you what I've seen from her. She did something that I haven't heard anybody else do. All them people I'm telling you about that's talking about all the rest of that stuff, bringing their buddies on, finding stuff on different videos on YouTube and coming back and telling you this is what you should be paying attention to. And the reason why you should be paying attention to it, I got this doctor, I got this lawyer, I got this TV activist that you see all the time. maybe you need to take the road to Karen Hunter, because Karen, what she did was she said something I hadn't heard. And we say it on this channel all the time. If you're not voting in the midterms, it's over. It's over. When you get on your shows and you go out there, start talking about midterms now. Don't wait till the Democratic Party tell you have to talk about it. Don't wait till you start seeing other people on the media. Tell them now. Midterm elections are coming up. We have to prepare now. Now. Or it's over. Make it plain and simple. If you're not getting involved now, to midterm elections, you need to be deciding like my friends say. I'm not going to call her name. I almost called her name. But what she said was true. You need to start finding out how to get involved now, so when it gets here, you're prepared. Get those people involved. And some of those people, their parents did the same thing. Their parents signed people up to vote. Their parents went in a small community. They did that. But somehow you forget that. You mention it about how you got involved in it, but you forget that they did it. Churches. Don't let them pay $500 to get up in front of your church and spew lies. Don't let them do that. Don't let them use your pulpit, the same one that you're talking about God on, to spew lies. Get somebody within your church that goes out and do the research, and somebody that listens to some information and say, hey, it's that time for election. Is it anybody within the audience out here, within our congregation, that feels like it's a candidate out there that we should be gravitating to? I want to take this time, because I've done the other stuff in the past where I brought people in to speak, but I'd rather have somebody from the congregation stand up and maybe take 5 minutes of their time. Just even if you rotate it on Sundays up until the election cycle comes up, you need to get them involved in it. And a lot of you pastors, I ain't going to say mega church, because they've fallen by the wayside as we go on. But a lot of you preachers in churches have members within your church that ran for office. Use them. Use the resources right in front of you. We're going to have to break this down so simple. We're going to have to break this down to a point. I hate to say it. We might have to go to a third grade education to get people to understand and change their mindset. Change their mindset to know that not voting means that you don't have a voice. You haven't given anybody else a voice, not necessarily to represent you, but to voice your thoughts. It's too late to complain about it and say, oh, I didn't vote because I didn't have no horse in the race. Stop using that mentality. Stop it. Get your kids. If you got a child that you know let me do this. If you got a child that you know that's going to be ready to vote or almost ready to vote, you need to start at 13. I'm going down. 13, 14, 15, 16. They'll be eligible to vote in years. We need to start educating our kids. My grandson comes on here and pops in and out sometimes. And I almost started educating him, and he's only 8 years old, that he has to vote. I'm sorry. Told you I'm under the weather. But we're going to push on through this, because I need you to understand how important this is. So we're going to go back and listen to this white supremacist KKK member again. But you need to understand that what he's saying, they should be playing catch up.
They leaned into those feelings and that antagonism. And they did that deliberately, knowing that that would make you enthusiastic about voting. And they knew that was a bait and switch, because they all realistically, they did not ever want mass deportations. The billionaires, the oligarchs, Trump in his heart of hearts does not really want mass deportations, is not really committed to that. And as a matter of fact, what they really want is more cheap labor just the kinds of labor that they need. The high-skilled tech labor, Indian programmers, illegal immigrant berry pickers, farm workers, meat packing workers. They knew all along they needed and wanted.
They wanted cheap labor. That's true. But they want to keep you at the same pay. But the same pay and everything else is going up around you. Everything else is going up around you. Most people can't afford to buy a house unless it's $115,000 income in that house combined. And that's not buying the top of the line house. That's buying a regular a house with 3 bedrooms, 2 baths, 3 bedrooms and 1 bath, and 2-car garage. That's all people are able to afford today. That's all normal citizens are able to afford today based on their salary. $115,000 at one time. And for you elitists out there, you know, you could be making that figure by yourself. But for normal people, it's more of us than it is of you. For normal people trying to survive, $115,000 is a hell of an achievement. I know. Y'all make that by yourself. I make that in a month. Well, that's realistically, that's not what everybody else is living off of. Just letting you know, just in case you forgot with your degrees and your friends that's surrounding you, that you forget that you also are building the classism. Just in case you forgot. Just want to let you know.
Wanted the labor. And they knew that they would say one thing to get your vote, and then once they got it, they would do something else. You fell for it. And that's the oldest trick in the book, by the way. They've been doing that forever. The Republicans forever.
What you should have said is, we've been doing this forever. Black people, poor people that were white and didn't know the difference. We've been falling for this on both sides. We've been falling for this lie on both sides. Now, this is white supremacists. I mean, why are they complaining? Why are they complaining? Because they're being treated like black people now. They've been hoodwinked. Just gonna tell you, I hate to say it like that. They've been hoodwinked by Trump. I got to get moving.
Ever have been pandering to the nativist sensibilities of white people and telling them, law and order, they're all going back. We're going to make America great again. In different words, they've been doing this forever. And then when they get in, they govern just like Democrats. And you fell for it again, like you've fallen for it many times, like you fell for it in 2016. That's what we say. Now, I see all of the cope online. This announcement is made. And like, look, I don't know what to tell you.
You know, the more I hear him talk, the more I just want to laugh. I just want to laugh. In case you didn't know it, I'm going to share this with you. I don't know how to say it, but I'm going to say it in the terms where I can understand it, because maybe I'm going to get it wrong, but you understand the premise of it. AI, they put in the AI, Note GPT, Chat GPT, all those different AI formats. They somehow they put this information in. And the question that they asked them was, which race would you want to be if you were human? Can you guess what they said? It said that it would want to be black. We're the only ones that's not smart enough to figure out that we have been through some stuff. That everybody sees what we're going through. They see our struggle. They see the stuff that our forefathers and what slavery has gotten us from slavery to where we are right now. And now we're classes. We have classes of blacks. Yeah. You didn't go to a college. You didn't join a fraternity. You weren't part of society. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. You know, I was in college with this person. I met this person along the way. I didn't network myself up. I didn't pump my shoulders up. Now I can talk to you. I can talk to you the way I should be talking to you. But I forgot where I came from. I forgot that my mother and father taught me who I am right now. They put me in this position. They didn't put me in this position to talk down to people. They put me in this position so I could share information. Share information to normal, everyday people. Maybe you get a cousin, maybe you get your kids on, maybe you get your nieces and nephews on, maybe whatever it takes to relate back to everyday people. That's what we need to be doing as a whole. And sometimes, I gave Karen, I'm gonna give you your credit, and I gave you your credit then. But here's what I would like to say about your other channels. My grandson plays PlayStation and different games. And I know that within him playing those games, I hear kids cussing at 5 and 6, 7 and 8 and 9 and 10, 11 and 12. You don't want to teach your kids to cuss because that shows their ignorance. Because that shows that they wasn't raised in a household where they were taught different. Yeah, it's an expression if you're talking to your girls. Yeah, it's an expression if you're trying to make a point and you recognize you can see your audience. But do you know how many young kids that, I'm going to go back to it, 13, 14, 15, 16, they are eligible to vote in a couple of years, and you using your words that you use to express a point? Do you know how many parents may have their kids sitting there listening to what you're saying? And you can cop out, you can cap out or cop out, whatever the word is, the term, and say, oh, they listen to worse music, they listen to worse songs, and they're not trying to get educated about voting. That's entertainment. You're not entertainment when you take on the responsibility of getting people to the polls. You're not entertainment when you take on responsibility of trying to show people how important it is to vote. You're not entertainment when you trying to tell them not to vote for Trump just because he's on TV every day. You're informing. You're a media source that everybody's gonna gravitate to. And if cussing is what you're doing, you're missing your audience. See, with this high-minded group of people that I've been talking about, these college folks, Shirley Caesar had a song, say she had 2 sons. One was a no good son of a gun. One was a doctor. And see, if you don't believe what I'm saying, just kind of do your own test and your own poll of cussing in front of somebody with a degree or somebody that's on a different level than where you at, or a professor or a university person, and have their kids in the room and see if they allow you to do that. I'm asking you, I'm just asking you to respect the position that you have been given. And when you get in that position, if you have to use a curse word, every other word to emphasize what you're saying, you're no better than. And I'm gonna call you a Trump because he says some things on there that never should have ever made it to the media. And I hear you guys saying something that should never ever make it to the media. Use your degrees that you got and elevate your message. That's all I'm asking. Karen Hunter, you're on point. I hear you cuss every once in a while, but I have to give you a pass on that because every other word out of your mouth is not about cussing. And I see you gravitating somewhere else. I'm sorry, I got sidetracked. I said I wasn't going to go an hour. I haven't even got into my PowerPoint presentation, but I got to let this person, this white supremacist out here, go through his little spiel and let you see where we at. I got this. I'm going to go back to it before I go in their PowerPoint presentation. But this is important.
600,000 Chinese international students is not America first. It just isn't. And I'll tell you why. Because at the Ivy League universities, their student body is like 24%. from other countries, those are all seats that could go to Americans. Why would we fill up spots at Harvard and Yale and Stanford and MIT with foreigners?
Here's the reason why. This is the reason why. And I need you to understand this. It's because they pay full ride scholarships. Their country, sorry, but their country, I need you to understand that their country is paying for them to stay here. And this, I'm gonna help you tie this back so you can understand. Trump's son-in-law is building. Listen to what I'm about to say. Is building condos around these college communities that he's talking about. That he's talking about, these 600 that Trump just let in. He's building condos around those colleges that they can rent out, and they paying full price. They're paying full price. You have to understand that. Go do your research. Evidently, he hasn't got it yet. But Trump's the one that's married to his daughter. They got condos that they building. They putting them in place right now. Their pockets are getting fat. Democrats can go out there and do that same thing. They can go out and research it. They building those condos for those people. There's 600 of them just from China. He haven't even got to his buddy Russia. Just from China. You think those tariffs ain't working? Yeah, he's playing chess while we playing checkers. Just letting you know.
That's not America first. So there's finite resources here. They get those seats, Americans don't. And we're not saying you have 0 foreign students, but a quarter of them.
Okay, now let me unpack a couple of things. Thing one, Donald Trump, when he said in his commentary that if these colleges did not admit these foreign students, a lot of them would go under, he's actually right. That's Donald Trump being a broken clock, right? That's right once in a while. And the reason that Trump is right about that is that these foreign students, I used to teach at Syracuse, I've taught at Howard, and I've always had Chinese nationals in my classes at both schools. In both schools, I had them, and they were, not full English speakers. They were very dedicated students, very sweet, very wonderful. I got like a lovely note from some of my Chinese students at Syracuse. But the reason that they're there is because the foreign students pay full fare. They're not on scholarship. They're not on student aid. When I went to Harvard, I was on almost entirely scholarship, right? I had an academic scholarship to Harvard, which meant that out of the $22,000 a year at the time, which is crazy because it's like 80 or 90,000 now, but it was 22,000 a year when I went to Harvard. But of that, I walked away with a total debt of $15,000 because I was on all these different academic scholarships. I got scholarships for my PSAT. I took the PSAT.
I'm gonna stop there right there, but I need you to go out and listen. I'm gonna put it back up on the stage because I need you to go out there and listen to the video in its entirety. Google in Joy Reid clocks. That's all you have to do. Put it in YouTube. Joy Reid clocks. Go out there and put that in YouTube and listen to the video in its entirety. I can tell you that you're going to be surprised at what you hear. You're going to be surprised at what you hear. But I want to make sure, because I shared this in Texas yesterday. Go out there and Google, and I'm going to tell you again, go to YouTube and type in Joy Reid broken clocks. That will give you a starting point. What I'm going to try to do is take you beyond that. See, the right wing, I got these notes. I think at the 2:30 mark on that video, the right wing backlash reveals how immigration is weaponized for political purpose, often combining racial fear-mongering with misinformation, which distracts from the underlying economic structures benefiting the elite. Well, the elite is Trump's people, his family. Because when they come over here on their full ride scholarships, you got to have a place to stay. So is Trump letting you back over here on this full ride scholarship, 600,000 people, and his son is renting condos. I want to see how that's tied back together. While we out here bringing on our college professors with degrees, and they can read. They didn't read this book. They got all these books behind them and all the rest of that. And while we allowing them to do that, how many of y'all researching, finding out that Trump's son-in-law is building condos, probably at those same universities that he allows 600 scholarships to go out to? But the other part about this, and I need you, I want to make sure you understand this. Notice what country they're coming to get educated. Do you know how many of those people are staying here in this country and that we get utilization from their skills? Probably less than 1%. Maybe 0.5%. None of their skills, they come to this country, they pay their full ride scholarships, and you want to know the reason why America is behind? Because we're teaching them. They're learning our system and they're taking it back to their country, and they're getting ahead of where we're at. And they've been doing this for years. But we want to take our K through 12 grade education and we want to argue about not paying the teachers. We got parents out there on my level, I'm going to say it, probably not on everybody's level, that their kids they're just going to school to be babysitted. Some of y'all going to get upset with it, but I don't care. It's the truth. Our teachers are turning into overpaid babysitters. That's what they're doing. Because while you out boogie wooging, while you out not coming home past until after 12, while you out waiting for last calls in clubs, while you out being an influencer, locking your doors, cutting on your cameras behind the doors, exposing everything that the good Lord gave you, your kids are not there trying to get his homework done, trying to get fed. That's the kind of people that we should be talking to, because they need to vote. They need to educate their kids at that level to elevate them. They need to be talked to. We lost a whole generation of people because we didn't talk to them. We didn't understand where they was going, what they was trying to do. We criticized. I'm guilty of it. We told our kids that they didn't meet this certain standard, that they ain't gonna be looked at as normal people. So when they get to be adults and they haven't met their standard, and I guarantee you it's more them than it is the ones that met that standard. Because you notice that the discrepancy of what I just got through telling you about, 115,000, that's not the average household income across the nation. There is no middle class no more. And Joy Reid said, I went on scholarships. But do you know to go on a scholarship that you had to be the best of the best in your class? You didn't go on scholarships because you were C's and you had D's and else. You didn't go on you wasn't getting no scholarships. Somebody was gonna have to pay for that. And if your parents wasn't made a certain amount of money, you wasn't getting that scholarship. So you basically thrown out there and expected to deal with what's ever out there. But do you know, it's coming up on an hour. I think I'm gonna go a little bit longer because I haven't even got to my PowerPoint. Do you know, if we would have kept, I'm gonna say this because I've been saying this for a while. If we would have kept air conditioning, refrigeration, building, ag, and all of that stuff that people could go out and get a job, air conditioning. I'm just gonna use air conditioning. Electrician. I'm gonna use air conditioning. If you got a child that you can teach how to do air conditioning from the 11th through the 12th grade, because the rest of the time is spending trying to get all those extra classes that they need to go to college in high school. If you can teach them air conditioning and refrigeration here in the South, in Houston, all the way across south of the Mason-Dixon line, they can have a job anywhere. They even have the ability to start their own company. Electrical work. You can have a job up south. You can have a job down south, up north. All those, and then they have the ability to join the union. But we took that out of the schools and we put it into a community college, and we say if you want to learn, you're gonna have to get in debt to learn that skill. How's that going? I'm just curious. How's that going? And then you wonder how come the youth is out here and they running ragged in the streets and they doing all this crazy stuff because you haven't equipped them to do anything other than that. So while you talking about your politicians, go to your politicians or go to your church leaders or anybody that you come into contact that can register with a large group of people and tell them we need to change that. We need to change that. Yeah, we want to teach them how to read and write, but we also want to teach them how to take care of themselves. When we stopped doing that, when we took that stuff out of high school, the trades out of high school, because it should be part of the school agenda right now. Everybody's not going to college. And if you're not going to college, here's the alternative. We're gonna put you over here. But here's what we forgot to educate those people on. See, I could get over there in the air conditioning class. I could get over there in any skill class that's out there. And I could choose to go to college so I don't have to do that. But where I'm at right now, I took the easy path and I realized I made a mistake. It's a lot of people that went back, that had those skills, that went back to school to get those college degrees, and it made them a better person. It made them a better cosmetology. It made them a better person in the long run because they understood what the workforce was about. If they wanted to elevate themselves, you gave them a platform to leap off of, not a platform to stand on and say, man, I don't know what I'm going to do. I got to say this, and it holds true today. I haven't even got to my PowerPoint. I'm going to try to do it within 30 minutes. I promise you. One of the things that I remember when I was in high school is this. I remember the day that I think I was a junior. No, I was in the sophomore. And one of my neighbors had graduated school that year. And I walked up to his house and I was congratulating him and stuff. And I saw him sitting there crying. I'll never forget this. If you don't believe me, his name is David Allen. He pastors a church over off of I can't think of the name of the street, but I'm gonna get it in a minute. His whole family, he pastors a church, and I saw David outside his house, and he was crying. And he sit there and I said, David, what's wrong, man? I said, you happy because you graduated? He said, no, Ron. I'm gonna tell you the truth. I just realized that I just graduated high school. Now I'm responsible for myself. I need that to kind of marinate with you. Now I'm responsible for myself. And see, that's not what we're doing with our kids. And I heard this earlier because I guarantee you when I get to the 1 hour mark, we're gonna lose it. We're gonna lose our feed on our live feeds at about an hour because they only allow me to go an hour. I want to tell y'all, thank you for listening to the video. If you want to get the full video, go back because I'm gonna break down some stuff that's coming up about the Trump family that you need to be aware of and know what's coming. They're not part of the administration because they can't make money when they're in the administration. They still making money at your expense. A typical example are those condos that I just told you about. 600 students coming in. Oh, we up in arms about the students. But look who's building the condos and developments around those colleges. And they ain't coming to They ain't coming to no HBCUs. They going to those other colleges, Harvard, Princeton, and all the rest of that. That's what they're doing. So get ready. And it's just, I want to say goodbye to the people that's going off. I think we off live now. I just see myself go off. They might give me this last little minute. I want to tell you, go out and educate yourself. Find out what's going on the outside of what you're seeing. I'm going to get into this PowerPoint presentation. For the rest of us, it's got a little bit of time. And I'm just going to go through this real quick. I think you get the gist of where I'm going. I think you got that. Let's get into some real stuff real quick. Let's get into some real stuff. I'm going to go to this one. I'm going to do it real quick. I'm going to put myself on the screen right here. You see me in the corner down there? I'm going to go through and I'm going to commentate through this, but we're going to go through this whole thing. Don't be fooled. I know y'all done went off the air on the other one. I still got you. I'm still get this in within 30 minutes. I hope. The economic and political side of U.S. visas and policies. I need you to look at that, and I hope I got the right one up. Introduction to this is just contents. I hope I did the right one because I did two of them. And this may not be the right one. I know you can't see this side of it, but the economic contributions of international students, what it's basically telling you is those students are being allowed into this country so that the Trump team can profit. And I know that this may not do it, but I don't have time to go back and get the other one and pull it up. Political hypocrisy of immigration policy. The Republican Party leverages anti-immigration rhetoric and while supporting policies that benefit corporate interests. This includes allowing foreign students to rent condos when they come here, allowing foreign students to pay a percentage of the money that's going into a college. Most of those colleges that's out there that they're trying to get into, they wouldn't exist if they didn't have, you heard 25% of them? 25%, maybe more than that, are paying full ride scholarships. That's the reason why HBCUs are not getting that. You understand? It's a lot, when you break it down, it's a lot different. Now you begin to see the picture, the big picture. Oh man, I can't move myself. Let me see if I can switch myself because I need you to. Okay. But I don't like that. Trump's visa probably reflects a paramedic capitalism, filling university coffers and labor demands. His basis backlash exposes the political duplicity of the white ring rhetoric or whatever. But what he's basically doing is he's bringing these students in, he's letting them into the country while his son-in-law is building condos, while they're benefiting from everything. And trust me, if any of them in Florida, I guarantee you that somewhere there's a hotel with a Trump interest in it. He's giving them a place to stay temporarily till he gets them into those housing situations. Think about it, $600,000. His family wealth is going up at your expense. At your expense. Oh, and in case you didn't know it, the reason why if he can create a distraction from what his objectives are, like tariffs, then go back and renegotiate. I'm gonna give you this, and they're gonna come in and they're gonna pay it. But his family members, way off in the distance, are benefiting from that. I'm gonna even help you get set up in your housing, because we're gonna open up some new houses and get it ready for you. Just letting you know. Reliance on the international student to our college. It goes back to what we were saying. Those big colleges got those 25% international students because they're paying those full tuitions into those colleges. They're paying full tuition. Those full tuition students that this guy that's on our side, these white supremacists out here, that's just beginning to figure out that those 600 students, they see what they thought was going to happen, that those 600 students was going to come in, those 600 scholarships could have went to one of them. Could have went to one of them in one of those cities that have, they vote against their best interest. I'm gonna say it in a political way. They vote against their best interest, thinking that, and they break it down to a point where They say, "Oh, you think you're gonna be Donald Trump after you vote him in the office? He's trying to make y'all all millionaires." No, he's using the office to make money off you. He's using the office to bring these students in so that they can build an infrastructure for them to stay, and they staying in them. Go out there and Google. Go out there and find out for yourself. He's in real estate. He knows exactly what he's doing. He's gonna start giving everybody scholarships. And we worried about tariffs. He put it out there because it got their attention of what he could do, but to benefit himself, he's coming back, offering them a place to stay. They paying the colleges. You think the college is going to come back and tell you something about that? No. That college is not coming back telling you that we're paying for anything. As long as they can get them over there, they want that benefit. But what Trump is doing behind the scene is he providing them a place to stay. He building those condos around those communities, going out, obtaining properties in those college communities and setting up those condos that they need. And if you bring your student over here, I'm gonna have you set up for college. And you don't have to worry about them for a place to stay. I'm gonna set that up too. Yeah, I'm just putting it out there. You don't have to take my word for it. Everything I say, you can go out and research it. The influx of international revenue is critical buffer against declining domestic funding. Therefore, the universities depend on that income. You just heard the issue about Harvard and all the rest of it. Harvard has I want to say a $500 million endowment. I could be wrong. I can't remember the exact number, but they have a large endowment that could take care of them. But these foreign students paying full admission, and that's not just for China. That's Pakistan, India, and any other country that's out there that's want to send African nations that's over there that's starting to grow and want their people to progress. And the only way that they can do it is they have to come into a country that has function with freedom in place. That's more money. You know, meeting the labor demands with foreign workers. Trump's visa probably reflects the pragmatic capitalism, aligned economics needs over political rhetoric. It prioritized university coffers and meeting labor. What he's basically doing is telling you that at some point, they're going to stop paying these states this money. And the state's going to tell you, this young lady said it first. She said, in the state of Louisiana, they want to pay you $11 to stand in the field all day sweating. And if you know anybody, if you got any kids in your house, any teenagers or anything like that, that should be a reason to encourage them to go to college. That should be their they get out of jail free card, because that's what it's going to turn into, is slave labor. You're going to try to revert it back to somehow in America that you're going to have to get off your I just got through talking about that, but you have to get off your behind and work. That's what he's trying to impose on you people I want to say on those people that want free stamps and all the rest of that. He's telling you got to get out and go on interviews. You got to turn in reports, and if you're not doing that, they're gonna take that away from you. So what is your alternative? You're gonna take those lower wage jobs because you don't have anything coming in. Or you're going to adopt a total different course. You're going to start taking from the people that have money. And I ain't going to elaborate on that. I'm going to let that go, because we're about trying to get you to a better point. But we need you to understand. Policies support corporate interests. They do. That's what he's doing. He's supporting corporate interests. He's telling you what he's doing. Workers to fill labor gaps. Labor gaps because why? They deporting people out of the country. But they want you to fill those gaps. Trust me, it's coming. This ensures a steady labor of skilled and unskilled laborers at uncompetitive. I'm going to say it. They ain't going to be competitive because they don't have to be. The government's not giving you anything for free. So that's a false narrative there. The hypocrisy and rhetorical versus reality. galvanized the political base with anti-immigration rhetoric. The Republican Party uses anti-immigration rhetoric to galvanize its base. The American First agenda capitalized on fears and anxieties regarding immigration. You heard the guy. You heard that guy say it. He said, "You fooled us. You hoodwinked us. You told us lies all during the process, only to come back and fatten your pockets, fatten those people's pockets that was already out there." Pretty soon, I'm gonna be honest with you. Pretty soon, our kids are the only jobs that's gonna be available is Amazon, Amazon, Amazon. If they ain't gonna get out there in the field and work because they don't have skills, and that goes back to not having the skills in the American schools where we can put people to work. We don't have to take them out and turn them into field workers. That's what you use the immigrants for. But now that you're using that to get your get in office, you're putting fear out there to get them to just gravitate and fear working in that field, or fear what's happening. It's game on. We done got them there. Serving corporate interests behind closed doors. They're serving their own interests at your expense, at telling you lies and telling people that's not on the same level as them. They telling the same lies behind the scenes. They bringing in who they want to bring in, and they kicking out who they don't want here. But they're expecting you to you're their balance. At the end of the day, you're that labor that's gonna go out there and do those jobs. Just letting you know. Just letting you know. And they sending them far enough away where they can't even get back to their own country. Just in case you didn't know that. Far enough away where they can't get back into their own country. Trump's inconsistency stance on immigration. If it benefits him and his family, like I say, those condos are just one example of it. It's okay. If I can get more students to come in, that means that my son-in-law and his projects of building those condos around those schools fattens my pocket. It ain't all about you. Don't get fooled. The guy if you go out and listen to the video, he just told you the same thing. Anytime people of color and white supremacists agree that Trump must go, we need to get him out of there. Midterm elections, we need to get him out of there. System underfunding of education. This is key. He's taking all our schools and he's basically telling our kids they don't need to have adequate education unless their parents are pushing education after working 12 and 13 hours each at a job, coming home at different hours, and one may be working a late night shift, one may be working a daylight shift. They could be working 2 or 3 jobs to sustain their household. And then their kids are going to school and they're not getting the correct education. They're not getting it because the Republicans are just saying the hell with education. I hate to say it. They're saying the hell with education. They don't care about your kids. They don't want you to have them in the world. And they definitely don't want to take care of them after they get here. They definitely don't want to take care of them after they get here. But they want to force you to do they want to force you to tell you what you can do with your body. Man, I want to take it one step further. They're basically telling our kids, and I know that this is going to be a radical subject. They're pushing Bibles into the school, but they're not educating our kids. Some of y'all going to get offended. They'd rather have you reading the Bible than getting an education. Because if they can succeed at both of them, they let you know who's in charge. I know Michael Collier has this thing, but You're gonna get it. Michael Collier says it's like this. When you got through driving home, or you listen to this about the third time, you get it. What they're doing with our kids. Creating a dependency of foreign students. They're telling you that what they're doing. They're bringing those foreign students over. They're educating them at your expense. And those colleges will benefit from their full ride, not full ride, because they paying full scholarships to those universities. But what Trump is doing, Trump is taking that other part. There's sons out there, they got construction companies going on. They building as we speak. Go out there and research it. Those people have to have a place to stay. That's part of his thing, going to other countries, selling them. That's why we're not doing good as a country. But his family is doing great. I'm going on. Reinforcing the dependency on international enrollees. Defunding reinforces dependency on international. The cycle is hard to break without significant investment in domestic schooling. They ain't investing anything into your kids. Get that straight. They just defunded the whole educational department. They're trying to break down anything that came your way where you could get smarter, where you could benefit from anything that was out there. They basically just took it away from you. Simple terms. We have a radio station here in Houston called KTSU. They took away PBS funding. They took away funding for media radios like KTSU. KTSU is asking you to contribute to their funds. And I'm sure it's the same way across America. In any major city where there's a college within their area, they need to have you reach back and help them, or they're going to be out of there. I'm just letting you know. Just sharing it with you. Don't believe me? Go out and do your own research. Less competitive for elite universities. They're not worried about getting a domestic student that they have to give a whole bunch of scholarships to. They're not worried about getting one student out of maybe 120 that they have to give a whole scholarship. They're not worried about you. You know why? Because they got these other foreign students that's coming in paying for a full ride. And that 25% is taking care of everything, probably everything on that campus, that full ride. And now it's about to go up to 30 and 40%, and that university is surviving. But those students like you, they attaching debt. They attaching debt, and you're going to have to pay it. And they're going to make you pay it. They're going to get you involved in the system, the big system. I ain't got time to go into that. But they're going to get you involved in not scholarships. They're going to get you involved in funding for your education. And by the time it's over with, you're going to be paying for it for the rest of your life. But these other countries out here are paying for it. Their government's paying for it at the same universities that you're going to, but your government ain't thinking about you. Distraction from class struggle, divide and conquer. We know, I basically been covering that all doing it. Both political parties, wealthy elites use racial immigration division to obscure class exploration. This diversity attention from the fundamental of educating students. That's what it basically should say. So you got your elitist people out there, your classes that you're going on. You got people that's telling you need to get an education. I got mine. You got to go get yours. Everybody got to be like me, like me, like me, like me, be like me. So you're telling those kids that if I don't have a college education, I'm not worth it. Basically what the same Republicans are telling them, they're not worth anything. Oh yeah, you can go get you can go to Chick-fil-A. You can go to McDonald's. You can go to Burger King. You can go to any other. Oh, you can go be a janitor at a place. But you can't, what we basically telling our kids right now, you can't go be a doctor. You can, those should be leaping points to start off with as a job, but I should be able to have my goals set higher after I realize that that's not where I want to be. It's a lot of people that did that, and I don't even want to say it, but I'm gonna go on. Stroking anger at immigrants and woke education. While we still out here talking about educating our kids, sending them to college, getting all these degrees, falling in debt, trying to take care of a family, income's around 100. Yeah, I did say you can't buy a house unless you make about 115,000 combined income. And if it's less than that, you know where you're at. Somebody carrying your note till you miss the first note, and then they got your stuff sitting on the curb. But as long as you paying that note, you're in that house. Owner finance. Oh, I'm sorry. Did I say it out loud? Owner finance. You putting down your income tax check and you buying a house and they don't give a damn what your credit look like. But you putting down your income tax check and you getting into those houses and you get to a point where you realize I can't pay that note. Government is set up for you to fail. Government is set up for you to fail. So you put down your income tax at the beginning of the year. You pay your thing. They're doing owner finance. None of your monthly payments are going to your note, to your achieving your ownership. You're just paying it. They know you're gonna fail. The system is set up for you to fail. But they got your money up front. They can go back and renovate it. Next year they're gonna get somebody else in that same house. Just letting you know. Just in case you don't know. That's what they're doing to you. But they got allowing these other countries to send their students here to learn. And they go back home with all this knowledge and their countries succeed. Just letting you know. Sorry, I told you I was under the weather. But I want to put this out. Diverting your attention from wealthy to from wealthy inequity. We've been talking about that. That's all we've been talking about. That's what I've been talking about. They're setting you up to fail, and you don't realize that they're setting you up to fail by the actions that they're taking that you can't relate back to. I don't think this is, I'm going to keep on going because discouraging demands for equitable school funding and labor rights. If you're not educated, if they're not going to educate you and they're not going to give you jobs and they're not going to set you up to succeed, do you think they got your best interests at heart? No. They don't have your best interest. They don't have no Americans' best interest at heart. Unless you can pay for your college, unless you can go to school without getting scholarships, unless your family is wealthy enough. And the ones, we're at a point in society where it's only wealthy and poor. It ain't no middle class, ain't no upper middle class, no lower middle class. It's just wealthy and poor. If you don't believe me, look at who's still making money every day. Got one more thing that I'm gonna add. I'm gonna make myself a note because I need to add it real quick. I need you to pay attention to what's going on in America. I made myself, but I want to get through this. Undermining education is the objective. They want to undermine it so they can maintain that lower, read that right there, maintaining a lower wage labor pool. If you're uneducated, they can take and give you those jobs that you can't get any other way. You talk about the government just laid off how many people with college degrees that's been in their offices for years? You think they're going to go out there and get another job at a higher pay, or they're going to have to take a pay cut with all the degrees that they got? Just think about it. They're setting you up. Sustaining a narrative blaming immigrants. And they're setting it up by blaming the immigrants. And at the same time, they're taking DEI and they're pushing it down people's throat. They got you protesting Target while they're taking your jobs. They got you walking down New York streets protesting while they're taking your job and they're getting your money. Wake up, wake up, wake up. Don't become woke. Wake up, wake up, wake up. That's all I'm telling you. I'm going to keep moving. That's slide 19. Reliance on skilled foreign labor. So these people get all these degrees and they get it over here. Their country's paid for. And a couple of years later, when they go back to their country, they can't make that kind of money, but then added their benefit to it. Guess what? We go out as Americans and we recruit those people to come back. And we give them visas to come back to our country and work. What happens to our kids? They're here. The few that got scholarships that their parents was wealthy enough, We done took away from their wealth by them sending their kids to school. But we ain't gonna hire them. We're gonna go around them. If you don't believe me, get a well-educated college kid with a lot of degrees behind their name, Black, Hispanic, and see how well they do in the job market. See how well they doing. They name all on LinkedIn and everywhere else. How qualified they are. How qualified they are. But they would go hire a foreign student and bring them back into this country and get with a visa and give him that same job. Just letting you know, just in case you didn't. Reliance on unskilled immigrant labor. They ain't worried about them immigrant workers. They're going to still be here in this country. They know that. But they have to take your mind. They have to, what they're using it for is to hire you at lower rate wages and for you not to have benefits. That's just a distraction from what's going on in the world. These unskilled immigrant laborers that they racking up, that they send, that's a distraction. But the long-term goal is to keep those lower wages in place, keep fewer benefits. Ain't nobody gonna retire. Ain't nobody gonna have no retirement benefits or anything eventually. And if you don't believe me, I'm gonna tell you something. I'm gonna write this down too, because I'm gonna get out of here in just a minute. I don't want to go conclusion, duplicity of the right-wing rhetoric, rhetoric. Trump's visa problem is a pragmatic capitalism. Trump's visa policy is the best understood pragmatic capitalism, emphasizing the economic gains from international students and foreign workers. That's what I've been talking about. He's basically just bringing those students in so he can benefit, and the universities ain't going to tell the story because they're benefiting too. That's how they're supporting their system. How many of those students do you think going to HBCU colleges and different colleges, excuse me, that's at a different level? I told you, I'm about to lose my voice, but I need to get this information out so you can understand what's going on in America, so you don't feel left out. And for you to understand that people of color and white supremacists are agreeing that Trump must go. Midterm elections is going to be the only way to get him out. I'm just exposing this to you where you can kind of gather where you at and realize that when we do these shows on Tuesdays, it's not all about us. It's about relaying a message that you can go out and research. Even the information I put it out, I try to put the information out where you can go out and research it. And if it's not words that are coming out of my mouth, I try to let you hear from the people themselves. Nick Fluentis said he's a racist. He basically told you that he was a racist. You didn't hear it. You didn't hear it come from my mouth. He told you. If you go back and look at the video, he said, "I am a racist." They tried to give him a less than that name, but he said, "No, today I am a racist." Maybe you didn't hear it. Go back and listen. I want to say something, and I want to get this out. Let me see. Exposing political duplicity of right-wing rhetoric. It ain't just the right-wing rhetoric. It's both parties. They have did this for years to us. And we have to hold them accountable in the midterm elections. I hope we do a better selection process. It can't be politics as normal because your name is recognized. It can't be politics as normal because we done gave you chance after chance after chance, and you've been doing the same thing to us, and we're getting the same results of what you have given to us. I'm trying to let me just say this. We did a show Tuesday. Along with, and I'm gonna say this, I send that information out with my people, and I read it to you earlier if you go back and review it. But along with that, the first thing out of my mouth, I'm not trying to get you to listen to me. I'm not trying to get you to come on my show and pay attention to what I'm saying. The people that's involved in this show that we do on Tuesdays and the one that I'm doing right now, they take their time and listen. You know why? Because they want their kids to be they want to be just as educated as their kids. That's their goal. And sometimes it takes a little bit longer to explain than what you have available. I made a note and I was trying to get to it. Let me just, I'm gonna close with this. Saw this video, and I think it's in the same thing. Elon Musk and his brothers laughing at the American public because they got their education under the same guise. Somebody paid for it, sent them to America. They went to school, they got their education, and they came back. And this is truth to what I'm saying. They left. They got their education. They was going back to their country. They worked for. They got these grand ideas. You know what we did? We gave them visas to come back. We gave them visas to come back because that knowledge that they was using over there, we wanted it over here. And they came back and they capitalized on America's weakness. And you know what they did in the video that really upset me? I'm at the end of this. I'm not going to even go into that. I'm going to end that right there. You know what they did at the end of this video? Because I don't want to go too much longer. Elon Musk and his brother laughed. I mean, it was so funny to them, they couldn't contain themselves at how the system is set up for them to succeed. But the people within this country are not on the same page as them. And I'm going to take the low end of this. I think they say Elon Musk makes about $3 million a day. But our system educated him and his brother. Their country paid for them to come back. South Africa paid for them to come back in this country, paid full ride scholarships. Trump probably didn't have condos going on then. These got smarter, but they paid for them to come back, and they got a full ride scholarship in the United States of America. And they laughing at us because they was able to do it. I'm tired. And I'm tired. I don't know if you feel the same way I do. I'm tired. I'm going to say it, I'm tired. And I'm going to say, if you don't get out to vote, stop listening to all these other people. Don't listen to, if within the first 15 minutes of them coming on the air, if they're not talking about midterm elections and changing the process or trying to aid in helping people to get out to vote in midterm elections, because that is the only stopgap from this fool that's in office. And I'm gonna help you out a little bit more, because one of my friends told me today, and I just had this conversation with him. He said, Ron, I'm 72 years old. He said, I'm beginning to see my decline. I don't know what in the world tells America that an 80-year-old man should be sitting in the office running this country if, and I'm gonna put some disclaimers on here, if he can't type his own name on a computer, if he doesn't know the countries, if he can't even name all the states in the union, as we call it, in the United States of America, I don't know what person should be sitting in the White House. Those are basic things. If he don't know his social security number, those are the skill sets that we need to require of a president. Somehow we need to have that incorporated. And here's my take. I'm gonna do it like this. I need you to engage with me. 75 years. If you're in office, if you got elected in office and you're 75 years or older and you're serving your term, you can serve out your term and be whatever age you need to be. But after 75, 75 should be the cutoff. 75 should be the cutoff. And you can't run. Here's the deal. If you're going to go over 75, you can't put yourself in any engagement of politics to be ahead of a country. Even if you're in office, when your term is over with, you can't come back and run. We need to put that in place. 75. And if it's here's the other thing. If it's gonna take you past that and you want to run for office, you can't run. Period. We need more people in office that can handle what's coming up. AI, computers, kind of get an understanding, not be so stuck in the past that they can't move forward. And that might be something that nobody agrees with, but 75 should be the age. And if you're gonna turn 75 after you're in office, you can't run. That should be you didn't correct them, you didn't correct the rules and regulations or statutes that will stop the January 6th or 8th resurrection, as you call it. You didn't change that while you was in office. You didn't try to change it. But that's something that you should do. That's something that you should do. I'm gonna tell you, I appreciate you. I love engaging with you. This was a long show. I'm not gonna lie. Didn't expect to go this long. I want to go 1 hour. 1 hour. Just 1 hour. I'm sorry if I ran over. But I hope that you got something out of this. And I'm gonna send this out to my people and let them look at it. I'm not gonna beg them for no subscriptions. When you hear us begging for subscriptions and you see us asking for money, we're no better than the rest of them. Now, if I earn the possibility for you to go out and subscribe and like and share, that means I earned your trust. And that's more important than anything. Your word has to be your bond. So thank God, because we're still out here. We've been doing this for a while. Byron Glass and Pastor Riggins. I miss you, Pastor Riggins, last time. Byron Glass, we had a great show. And any of the viewers that's listening to me right now, we broke it down. Gerrymandering the maps and data usage on the last video. Go out and catch that one too. We got a lot of videos that's out there. I'm trying to keep them coming out. And we're going to keep doing this every chance we get. I'm going to say it again because we need to say it, and we need to use those altars that we walk around with every day. Bend your knees and fall down on your knees and pray. You pack your altar wherever you go. Bend your knees, fall down on your knees and pray, and never forget that. Stay in touch. Goodbye, everybody. I guess I'm not good at saying goodbye, but y'all take care.